It's your boy, Ed the Dread, aka Eddie Money Mouth. And you are tuned into the Money Mouth Podcast. Yes, sir. You, another Money Mouth Monday, baby. Welcome to the show, people. Um, if you cannot tell, I am decked out in good vibes gear. You want to know why? Because the website is here. Head on over to goodvibesgear.com and purchase yourself something. We get hats, beanies, tote bags, all sorts of adult clothing, youth clothing, even baby onesies. Ha 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 holla. Right? We got free shipping at least for this first month. And then after that, I'll be uploading things that I personally tie-dye and or sew and or do on my own. And you can get customized stuff. So head on over to goodvibesgear.com and check it out. I would consider it our only sponsor. You nice. So today, Money Mouth Monday, we on. All right. It is the day after one of America's dumbest events, the Stupor Bowl. Oh my gosh. Somehow every year on Stupor Bowl Sunday, there's really big waves. So I go surf and battle the ocean while some people are just watching other homies battle with helmets on and smacking each other's butts. Yee-hee. Thankfully, in my entire existence, I've never watched one Stupor Bowl. Proud to say it, I grew up a soccer player, and all the football players made fun of us. Talked a bunch of shit. Always, it was one of the, oh, you wear tight shorts, oh, you wear short shorts, oh, you're gay, oh, you like, bruh, y'all the ones laying on each other, smacking each other's butts. What's the business? But no, for real. High school football players just always ragged on us. College, as a matter of fact, I ended up whooping a football player's ass in college. Okay, a cat that I think they called him Justin Timberlake. Homie looked just like a boy band person. Talked a whole bunch of shit in the dining hall. Threw the salt shaker over in front of my chick and all my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, fuck that. Went outside, chipped him up a little bit. You're so now that I say that, I've had a lot of instances with football players I just couldn't stand. To tell you the truth, the first football game that I have ever sat and watched in entirety is like Baldwin Bears High School. And JV was definitely more entertaining. That's how that go. All right. So getting back to my experience with the Super Bowl, it's zero. All right. I played professional soccer in Pittsburgh, and if you don't know, the Steelers are like one of the biggest football teams to do it. One thing that I was told when I lived out there, they were like, "Hey, if you travel somewhere, there's gonna be a Steelers bar in the airport." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever the fuck you're talking about." And somehow, I don't even remember what airport it was, but I definitely seen like a Steelers bar and like all these people. I was like, "Why the fuck is that real?" All right. But either way, as a professional soccer player in Pittsburgh, one thing that I would always notice was that for our youth academy, we'd have a lot of kids from like 5 years old to 8 to 10 years old. You know, and then once they were big enough to put on pads and a helmet, their parents like took them out of soccer and threw them into football, which never made any sense to me. Nowadays, I mean, people are lining up to put their kids in soccer training, seeing how much Messi and Ronaldo are getting paid, uh, which is pretty sad because you just let the kid ball with whatever sport they want. But that's for another podcast. But what I would like to talk about the Stupor Bowl is CTE. All right, this is a thing that I've brought up to a number of athletes, um, especially like football players, rugby players. I mean, I would probably consider like getting hit with a soccer ball in the head could give you some of this damage too. But generally speaking, you're hitting the ball with like the thickest part of your head. So something off punts, it might give you some damage, but I'm thinking that, just the average like tossed up or chipped header that you're hitting isn't gonna do the same as if you're slamming head to head running as fast as you can sprinting. Which I mean, to be honest, like everyone I ever knew growing up that watched football loved to see somebody get trucked. So that was like the whole thing. It was like they're hoping that a guy gets the ball thrown across the middle and this other guy's running across and the guy goes bomb and slams them. It's like what they love watching. But CTE is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, right? And it's a brain damage that first and foremost, it can't be detected or diagnosed until you're dead, which is a nightmare. But it's caused by brain chronic traumatic brain issues like slamming your head like they do in football. It's very common amongst football players. Again, something that a lot of players have never even heard of, especially young players. Um, I mean, from what I've heard is every time you see stars, like when you get hit and you close your eyes and you see stars, it's like a little concussion. So if you've ever seen stars on a hit, you've been concussed, right? And I mean, I can say that from having skateboard slams and things, but it's not like that is a always happening occurrence. It'd be like once every few years that something like that would happen. Whereas it's very common in American football. Um, One person who I always use as an example when talking to young athletes about this is Junior Seau. I know the guy played a long time ago, and I didn't even know who he was when he played because I never cared about football. But he was a Pro Bowler. I believe he made the Super Bowl. He did a lot of like crazy accolades that people consider to be very, very great in the football world. Um, and he actually committed suicide by shooting himself in the chest due to CTE. It has this effect that like I would honestly say after watching a documentary on it, like makes you crazy. I saw a documentary where this one individual was sitting there in his kitchen eating dinner or eating breakfast with his family and was literally telling the person who was interviewing him that every day he has thoughts about killing his children and his wife and he can't get them out of his head, but he's not going to act on them. So, I mean, you hope that he doesn't, but honestly, it's again a disease that plagues a lot of football players, and the owners aren't going to talk about it. The people making the most money off of all this aren't going to bring it up. So just a thing that again, as an athlete who looks for human progression, you don't want to make it so that your future uh, only has 50% the potential that you had previously because you just don't have brain function. So again, it just as a thing, if you are a athlete, period, it's a thing you should think about, right? If you're in a sport that's prone to concussions, and or just taking heavy hits in your upper body and your head region. Um, Clearly nowadays there's a lot of protocol that they have for this in sports. We get emails as teachers during the football season just with concussion protocol for players. So they're definitely looking to take care of athletes more in that respect. Because I remember a game when I was a kid playing indoor soccer, like I went to block a shot, and I jumped up and blocked the shot and I woke up in the van later. And I'm like, well, what happened to the game? And they're like, oh, you took it to the head and like knocked out. It's like they didn't even take me to see nobody. We just went home. Uh, which maybe I got brain damage. Maybe yeah, it's quite possible. But no, when I played professionally, they would put these goggles on you in this room, and you would have this benchmark test done, where they would turn off all the lights, and they'd run these. It looked like a Microsoft Windows screensaver, and your eyes are you just try to keep up with the things running past, and these cameras and these goggles are watching your eyes. So anytime you would get concussed as a professional soccer player, they would put these goggles and run the test again, and test you against your benchmark. Um, which at the time I was just like, oh yeah, we're in the dark room, like I didn't really even care that much. It was just a thing we did. But as far as the safety of athletes, I mean, I would say that's a pretty good protocol to have. Um, Now our next topic for the podcast today in the Stupor Bowl is just what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe so many people give a fuck about that thing. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, yo, like a grown ass man putting another man's jersey on. What the fuck? Like, yo, a lot of these guys are just pieces of shit. And I'm talking about everybody, like your favorite athlete, your favorite musician. One thing I would suggest is never meet your favorite musician. Never meet these people. Just keep them as the guy that you. Oh yeah, I like that guy, because like they might fucking not even like. They might be racist and hate you. Like you don't even know how any of these people are. For some reason, we've put athletes and musicians and all these entertainer people on such high pedestals, and a lot of times they're like not even that great of people. Um, I just as a start, I played professional athlete. I was a professional athlete. I played professional soccer for 4 years. I was the first African American professional skimboarder, which I haven't competed in a while. Maybe we make a comeback this year, 2024. Is it the year that Dread comes back to skim competition? Who knows? Okay, but I did happen to win the fans award for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds as like the athlete on the team that they respected and liked the most. Reason being is that I would stay till the lights turned out to sign autographs. Right, I would go down to the pub that the support group hung out at after the games and buy them a round of drinks and fucking hang with them. I'd take my mom and dad down there. We'd all hang out, put on Michael Jackson on the fucking jukebox, and I'd dance around and shit. But that was the thing. Like some of the people on my team would look at the support group and go, "What the fuck are those old guys over here cheering for us for?" And you'd be like, "Bitch, we all the same age. What do you like? What are you getting at?" But at the same time, it's like, what are you disrespecting the person who's literally like paying your salary? Because if they're buying tickets every time, that's how you get paid, right? And it's kind of the same thing for all sports, right? Like these people, everybody puts all these people on such a high pedestal and buys their jerseys and thinks that they're on the team. Like my team made the Stupor Bowl. Like that's not your team, dog. Like it don't even matter if you fucking born in that city. That ain't your team. You don't own no rights to it. Some rich motherfuckers getting rich off of your dumbass buying a $20 beer at the stadium. Like y'all crazy. But uh another quick wild story, all right, from my professional career. When I played at the Richmond Kickers, there was an individual who also played defense. His name was Kelvin Jones. We were like two brothers that he had like braids or plaits and I had braids or dreads or whatever. I was way more light skinned than him and my hair was way longer than his. But at a game where I waited to, like I signed like every freaking autograph I can. It was like, there'd be a couple thousand people at the games and there'd be kids there and all of them want an autograph. So like I'm signing and it was in our contract that you only had to stay for like 5 minutes and you could go back to the locker room. So a lot of guys would just go back to the locker room after 5 minutes. I'd sign fucking the whole thing. So like last 10 kids in line, there's only like four of us out there and this kid steps up and he's just like, "Oh my God, you're my favorite player. I've been watching you for so many years." And da 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 da. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting stoked up." I'm like, "Yo, I'm this guy's favorite dude." He's like, "Oh, I love you, Kelvin." And I was just like, "Oh shit." Uh but I couldn't even tell the kid I wasn't Kelvin. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't give a fuck. Like that kid was so stoked to see his favorite soccer player, and he waited in that line for so long, and Kelvin was in locker room. So I just Kelvin was number 5 and I was number 8. I don't even know if the kid realized, but I took a picture with him and signed his shit, Kelvin Jones. I didn't care, right? It was about that kid's moment, okay? But I've seen fucking people like Big Ben Roethlisberger not show up to a kid's field day, an elementary school field day, because the kids at the school didn't sell enough of Big Ben's hot sauce for him to fucking show up. Like I literally witnessed the principal call this guy's fucking agent and have to bitch at him because kids are here in Big Ben's jerseys and they don't care about the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and how good we can juggle. They want to see Big Ben and Big Ben only. And apparently they didn't sell their $25,000 worth of fucking Big Ben's fucking stupid rib sauce or whatever. Uh, and I'm just going off of people that were in Pittsburgh, because that's where I played professional soccer. That's where I witnessed a lot of shit with the NFL players that I never like Big Ben raping chicks in the bathroom and then crashing his fucking motorcycle on the bridge with no helmet on. Like you're a fucking NFL quarterback that is like supposedly one of the best out there. What is wrong with you? But people would still wear his fucking jersey to church after. I can tell you that. It's like you go to on a Sunday, you go to fucking church on a Sunday in Pittsburgh, people gonna be dressed up with a shirt and tie or a Steelers jersey. I can fucking guarantee you that. It's the craziest shit you ever seen in your life. Right now, I've had a lot of jerseys in my time. I've actually even bet jerseys on games with my dad. I remember one time he told me he'd pay me $100 per goal that I scored for like a regional playoff in high school, and I netted like 3 goals, and he didn't want to cough up 300, so he bought me like a Bayern Munich jersey, which at that time was like, I don't know, $100, fucking expensive as shit for just a shirt, right? But then if you add another dude's name and number to the back, it's almost doubling the price, right? Which I've never understood. Like, I can see it. I've personally tattooed another player's jersey on me. Kobe Jones, Edgar Davids. If you didn't check the Ed the Dread show last week, go ahead and check it out. One of my DIY tattoos is Kobe Jones jersey. But that was in the realm of me being a 10-year-old, never having seen representation of someone who looked like me play that sport. Right? It wasn't me being a fucking 35-year-old man going, God damn, I love Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to put his jersey on. I'm going to put my wife in his jersey. And my newborn baby in the crib are going to wear his jersey. Like, get off that motherfucker's dick, dog. Like, what does he do? Play a sport good? You don't even know him. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of him, I worked that motherfucker's wedding. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure everybody else had an NDA. I was just a motherfucker that showed up to move flowers. So, like, it was in Olawalu, okay? And the saddest part about the whole thing is if you know Olawalu across from the freaking general store, there's actually like a little rundown beach park that a lot of Kanaka hang out at. They go fishing. There's like a little jetty out there. Their kids jump off into the water. And once you start setting those flowers up on that big property near there, the police come down and kick all the Kanaka out. Don't tell nobody why, because if you tell them, then all the fucking photographers are going to show up. But they just kicked everybody out of the beach park because you couldn't be so close to this guy's fucking wedding. Right? Fucking, don't even get me started on, I think the brother's biracial. But the only fucking brown or blackheads that was even in there was me and his mom or his grandma or whoever the lady was sitting in the rocking chair. I mean, fuck, I dated white chicks back in the day too, but like, yo, like, why is it that like every one of these motherfucking like biracial or black athletes get some white wife, bro? Like, the fuck? The whole place was white in Hawaii. There wasn't no Kanaka work in the thing, which is sad because most of the time, like, if a white person comes out here and they look at me, they think I'm Kanaka. But then a Kanaka look at me and go, oh, that's a black dude. So that's where it's like, from my perspective, it's a fucking mind blower out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't get it. But that motherfucker's wedding killed me. And then, later on, when someone's like, I'm over at an uncle's crib and they're like, yo, what was you doing last Sunday? Where were you? Didn't come over to the thing. I'm like, oh, I was like fucking moving flowers for this mope from fucking some football team. And they're like, they already know. They're like, oh, we had seen we could tell in the background of his pictures in the airport that he was on our island. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? They're like, yeah, you were at the wedding. Oh my God, did you get a picture? You get a picture of his flower setup? Did you get a picture of his arrangement? I would pay you thousands of dollars to have that picture. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers are on this guy's dick for nothing. Except for the fact that I'm pretty sure he's the guy in the Stupor Bowl right now. So like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's one of the craziest things ever to me, that these guys that people even care about these guys. But like, yo, if you're good at throwing a ball and slamming into people, who gives a fuck? If you're good at sliding on ice with a stick and who gives a fuck? If you're good at dribbling a ball and stepping over and putting it through people's legs and putting it in the goal, who gives a fuck? Okay? Please don't put all these people on such high pedestals anymore. Again, they're human just like you. They put their pants on the fucking same way as you, right? They learn to walk the same way as you, falling down a million fucking times. They learned that sport the same way as you, although they may have had someone who was much better than the person training you helping them, right? But ultimately, all these people have the same human potential as you do. So when you're slamming homie Mahomes or freaking Roethlisberger or fucking Kanye West or some idiots that don't even know how to fucking live their lives, but you made them celebrities because you like the one fucking thing they're good at, and they're probably not even good at anything else, just that one thing, please just cut it out. I don't even know where I went with that. Just don't do that, because that's bullshit. And these motherfuckers aren't demigods. These people are just a regular human with a choke amount of money. All right. So that's your Buddy Mouth podcast today. Bunch of bitching about fucking football and wearing other people's jerseys. Buy the jersey. You know what I'm saying? Buy the jersey. Just don't get it with that other motherfucker's name on it. Put your name on it. Matter of fact, get the jersey, and if you like the sport so much, instead of putting that guy's name and then putting it on your kid, put your kid's name on it, right? Let them think that they're the player and give them, put to the universe that they're going to be on that team, not that you love this other motherfucker so much because he's on the team. Yeah. With that said, get on over to Good Vibes Gear. All right. It's a lifestyle, not a hairstyle. So is the clothing line, right? Spread positivity through creative outlets, whether it's clothing, whether it's media, whether it's music, whether it's any of that. All right. I hope the best for all of y'all in your life progression. This is Ed the Dread, aka Eddie Money Mouth, signing off. A hooey ho, Kako.